Welcome everyone to the program EdTech Mondays Nigeria, brought to you by the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Co-Creation Hub Limited. EdTech Mondays is a platform to facilitate critical conversations on the use of technology for teaching and learning by bringing together key stakeholders, including policymakers, EdTech entrepreneurs, teachers, and parents. Thank you all so much for joining us on this episode of the show. Do stay to the end and participate in the conversation. Our topic for today is enabling teachers to lead and innovate. Enabling teachers to lead and innovate. About 18 months since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, the education sector has experienced a great shift, requiring teachers to constantly be on their toes to meet the new demands of teaching and learning. Amid the crisis, teachers have been required to display great commitment and adaptability to ensure that learning does not stop. While teachers are finding ways to create new learning environments for their students, they are faced with several needs requiring support to help them stay ahead as frontline responders at the heart of education recovery in this 21st century. So we would love to hear from you, our listeners. How can technology be leveraged to enable teachers lead and innovate? Join our Telegram channel, EdTech Mondays Nigeria, to drop your comments or send us a text or WhatsApp message on 0703 165 0809. That is 0703 165 0809, and let us know what you think. In this edition of EdTech Mondays, our panelists are excited and enthusiastic to discuss enabling teachers to lead and innovate. Welcome with me, Ms. Victoria Abiola, who is a teacher passionate about bridging the digital divide in the public education system. She holds a BSc education in economics from the Oluwaseun University of Ogun State and a master's degree in measurement and evaluation from the University of Lagos. She's a Microsoft certified educator and a registered member of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria with over 3 years of professional teaching experience. She currently teaches economics at New Era Girls Senior Secondary School, Surulere, Lagos. Welcome, Ms. Abiola. Good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me, Joyce. Good to be here.
Amazing. We also have with us Mr. Philip Ewuoso, who is also a professional teacher working towards shaping young minds to become creative problem solvers. He has a BSc Computer Science, also from Oluwaseun University, and a postgraduate diploma in education from the National Open University. He's a Cisco certified network administrator and the president of the Information Technology Subject Teachers Association of Nigeria, a subject association which granted him the opportunity to be a part of the team that worked on the recent ICT curriculum being used in Lagos State schools. He is currently a teacher at Birel Avenue Senior High School, Saboyaba, Lagos. Welcome, Mr. Ewuoso.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Thank you for having me.
Also here with us today is Mr. Oluwaseun Kayode, a major contributor to conversations around improving teacher quality. He leads Schoolinka, an organization team that leverages technology in creating an ecosystem for highly skilled teachers for schools in Africa. His team designs exciting professional development opportunities for teachers and deliver them through a self-paced online learning platform and instructor-led masterclasses. With this technology, teachers now have the power to access professional development in their hands. Mr. Oluwaseun has 6 years of experience in the education space. He has worked on a lot of local and international education projects. He was invited to speak at the Teach for All Global Conference in Armenia and got accepted into the Peace First Accelerator Program in Texas. He is a 2020 Orange Corners Fellow and a 2021 Unleash Global Talent. Welcome, Mr. Oluwaseun.
Hi, Joyce. Thank you so much for having me here.
We are so glad to have you all. In 2009, a report by African News showed that only 20% of Nigerian graduates have quality or sound education to make them compete for jobs in the local market. The remaining 80% do not have sound education. On the back of this, in September 2021, the Registrar and Chief Executive of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria lamented that more than 50% of teachers in primary and secondary schools nationwide are still not qualified to be in the classroom. In your view, what are the top 2 challenges facing teaching today, and how is the advent of digital technologies shaping these issues?
One top challenge for me is reaching learners taking learning home, and they are not just schooling. And I feel the issue is because the learners are not learning the way they want to learn. But with the advent of technology, teachers are able to create videos, animated videos, to reach out to the learners. They are able to access learning online, creating links, sending on social media to parents, and workbooks, and teachers can grade easily on grading the large number of students in the class, and also the problem of lesson planning and resourcing. But with the advent of technology, there are 1,000,001 resources online that teachers can harness and make their planning, resource, and delivery so easy and smooth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Philip, please, your thoughts.
Ms. Victoria had said a lot, and I would agree with her. But for me, also, I would say, for those of us teaching in public schools, the student population to teacher ratio is mind-blowing. But I would say digital technology has helped in reaching a larger population of students with ease. What do I mean? I would use an example of how I take my classes. I have a blog that I've created. I upload my notes, the teaching materials that I'll be using in class, and students have access to it before coming to class. That means I have more time to engage the class, no matter how much the population is. I have more time to engage the class and take them through the notes, discuss with the students giving me feedback, and their response time. The response time and the time using this technology has been good.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And so, Mr. Oluwaseun, share your thoughts with us, please.
Thank you very much for that question. I would say, the top 2 challenges facing teaching today is first, lack of access to professional development, especially for teachers. And then the second one is lack of incentives to actually get trained. So the 2 challenges are, kind of both related. But the first one really is about teachers not having access to quality training programs. And those who have the access to training programs, they do not have enough incentives for them to actually go in and get trained. You speak to a teacher and they tell you, okay, what if I get trained? What happens? Will my pay get increased, or will they promote me at school? So there's really no structure, like a career structure that actually supports professional development for teachers in Nigeria. And these are big challenges actually facing, teaching in the country currently.
In recent times, there has been a lot of conversation and drive for the digitization of the teacher training curriculum and the use of technology in the classroom to support teaching and learning. In 2019, a study by Moritala and Norazrena, it was concluded that the most important reasons why teachers fail to make good use of technology in their instructions is a lack of training and accessibility. Ms. Victoria, please, what examples do you have of technology being leveraged to train teachers and support their professional development?
One thing that drives me is, I tell myself, learning from a teacher who has stopped learning is like drinking from a stagnant pool. I do not want to be a stagnant pool in the classroom. So I ensure over time, I keep leveraging on the use of technology to aid my teaching and learning process. And for me to make learning enriching, accessible to my learners, it takes a lot of work. The first way is social media, the use of social media. WhatsApp is accessible to everyone, Facebook, Telegram. During the pandemic, a lot of trainings were there online, personal development. A teacher needs to be conscious, intentional about their professional development. Look at it. I know the Co-Creation Hub has a section of Teachers Lounge that is being used for teachers' development. You don't even have to be there every Friday. You could also go through the fireside chat, the child training, a number edX, Schoolinka. Kayode will speak more about that. Microsoft Community Education, a lot of opportunities out there. But for me, I leverage a lot on the Microsoft community and a lot of WhatsApp training. And of course, the Teachers Lounge, the trainings at Teacher Lounge cannot be overemphasizing the things that have developed me or trainings I've gone through as a teacher. Thank you.
Several examples you raised. The highlighted point for me is teachers have to be intentional about learning, regardless of the number of platforms available. Mr. Philip and Mr. Oluwaseun, are there benefits of delivering teacher training digitally? And what are some of the barriers that we need to address to enable this? Mr. Philip, please take the lead.
Digitally, one, it allows learning at one space. There are several teachers, for example, in Lagos State, taking several trainings online at your own convenience at home, and it's done digitally, it's done remotely. So that helps. But challenges, if we say challenges, one is what we are facing today, the network connection. The cost of even connecting sometimes here in Nigeria, it's quite expensive to hand. One other thing is that training of teachers to even handle the apps, the website to do this training, how to handle them and get best use of these resources or the trainings that are available online or digitally. I would say those are the challenges.
Teachers are the catalysts to bring transformation in education. Although there are challenges that can impede teachers' continuous training, however, with access to technology, training can be brought to the teacher's fingertips. During the lockdown in 2020, CcHUB trained over 500 teachers through WhatsApp. Teachers from faraway states like Zamfara, Sokoto were able to access the training despite their location. Mr. Oluwaseun, considering the various challenges such as poor internet connectivity, low financial status, distance, and busy schedules, how should EdTech companies motivate teachers to commit to continuous personal development and technical skills acquisition to meet the needs of the 21st century learners?
Thank you so much for that question. And I feel like this is at the core of the work that we do at Schoolinka. So I'm just going to give a brief of what we do at Schoolinka. So at Schoolinka, what we are doing is to leverage technology to design exciting training programs for teachers and deliver it through technology. So we have an online learning platform where teachers can sign up as users, take online courses, become effective, right? And then, get certification as well. And so what this has taught us, because in 2019, why we started with in-person learning programs. So teachers walk into our physical training centers to get trained. But even before the pandemic, we realized that we needed to scale, right? So there are a lot of teachers, 35% of teachers in Africa are not trained or not properly trained. So we need to really scale rapidly. And that's how we started seeing technology, helping us do this work as the biggest game changer. And so we started designing instructor-led master classes where teachers, have access to instructor-led classes on Zoom. And it was really good. It was really transformative. And one thing that taught us was the fact that technology brought economies of scale into the model of powering teachers' professional development. Because what happens is that we can actually create an online course once and keep offering it to teachers as much as possible, right? So it reduces the cost of designing this training program because we're only creating it once and teachers from anywhere, wherever can have access to it. So as EdTech founders and in the EdTech community, I feel like, for us to be able to help teachers, have access to quality training programs, we need to leverage on economies of scale so much and find ways by which we can reduce the cost of accessing training. My team, conducted a research and we found out that there are two major reasons why teachers do not access professional development. The first is inaccessibility. So for example, teachers in remote communities such as Badagry are asked to come and do a training in Ikeja, Lagos. They will spend half of the day or the entire day in traffic, right, for them to get to the training. The second, issue was that of unaffordability. So the available training programs are not affordable to these teachers. So what our technology is doing is breaking that barrier by telling you, the way we operate, for example, most of our training programs are on pay what you can model. So what it means is that teachers pay only what they can afford to join classes from as low as 1,000 naira. We even have some free training programs because we have a volunteer faculty where, educators with experience and expertise just want to give back. And so for us, it's just creating that platform to help teachers, meet up with it. So apart from all of this, cutting the barriers, one thing that we've been able to do, in our organization as well, is to provide incentives to teachers to actually access professional development. We had a program last week where we had teachers, in our community, we gave them free internet data to be able to access training programs sponsored by Junior Achievement Nigeria and Facebook. And then, of course, one other thing that we are doing is providing jobs. Because we are already growing to become an ecosystem of highly skilled teachers. And then schools who are looking for quality teachers are always coming to ask us, Schoolinka, do you have teachers to join our workforce? We know you train many of them. And so because of these opportunities, these job opportunities, teachers want to get trained with Schoolinka because they know that they have first-hand information about job openings in better paying jobs when they train at Schoolinka. So we offer these incentives to teachers. During COVID-19, we're able to raise funds to support teachers whose salaries were worst hit by the pandemic. So all those incentives all together, have been able to help us reach out to many more teachers. And I think that one thing that we also need in this, ecosystem, especially with EdTech founders that are working to improve teachers' quality or teaching quality, is that we need institutional support. So for example, let's say the MTN and Airtel and Glows of this world are telling us, okay, for teachers accessing schoolinka.com, we'll give you 100 MB or 200 MB per day to access the website. That's it's going to be a game changer and teachers will be able to access more. So we need those incentives more and more to be able to power this work for many teachers.
Thank you so much for your intervention, Mr. Oluwaseun. In the world today, emphasis is now tailored towards science and technology. There is a great urge for teachers and students to be ICT compliant. The implication now is that many teachers are not ICT compliant, hence cannot teach what they do not possess. Mr. Philip, we know that young people require digital skills to thrive in the future of work. What can we do to empower teachers to cultivate those skills in learners? And what role does technology have to play in that? I would also like Ms. Victoria to make contributions to this. Mr. Philip, please take the lead.
True. The skills that are required now in the 21st century, digital skill is one of the most important. And teachers having to inculcate these skills into their teaching or help students to imbibe these skills. Teachers need to be trained and retrained. I'm in the public sector and I know some of the teachers, in fact, a large majority of teachers are lagging behind in this. I think the government is doing a lot. Teachers are being trained daily, weekly. In fact, there is a training I attended this morning before joining yours. So, but a lot of work needs to be done. Using digital technology, the best thing digital technology has brought to us is being able to attend training, like I said the other time, remotely at your own pace or at your own time. There are so many platforms that can be developed, or there are existing platforms that the teachers can key into and learn at their own pace or join at their own time, and it will help develop their skills. The basic skill a teacher needs in the use of technology is the use of presentation packages, the use of analysis tools like the Excel to analyze results and give feedback. So if teachers can be trained on this, I think the sky is our limit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Victoria, please add to this.
To empower teachers to get digital skills, we need to introduce them to the sense of equipping themselves with skills in the 21st century and the world at large. Online platforms should be created for teachers to equip themselves with these skills. And the training should be organized in such a way it's flexible for teachers to take at their own pace. Due to present economic situation, I feel teachers should also be equipped with use of data devices if need be. And I feel this would encourage them to participate better, especially teachers in low-income environments and public schools. And of course, most importantly, they also need EdTech communities to join, to participate in, just like the TAS Lounge that we have at Co-Creation Hub. This will create an avenue for them to discuss and brainstorm on things they've learned. They are able to share their challenges, what's working for them, what is not, and it's going to be a way forward. They can also discuss the way forward, and all of this will help them develop learners who are globally competitive in the present world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Teachers must be abreast to take advantage of all the platforms available, including what the government is doing and what organizations like CcHUB is doing and the MasterCard Foundation, and then apply themselves. Finally, Mr. Oluwaseun, please tell us, what policy level changes do we need to see effected to ensure technology can be leveraged effectively to support teachers' work?
I think this is a systemic problem. Like, it's a big issue that has, different systems of interrelated parts. And I will start first from, question of around how do we even train teachers in the first place, and then move to the question of how do we recruit teachers. So, for example, right now in our colleges of education and our, institutes of education, faculties of education, when you go there, they train teachers with outdated curriculum. They train teachers without equipping them with skills that are needed to power learning today into this classroom. So teachers are actually trained on how to power learning in the 18th century or 19th century, whereas we've moved beyond that. And that's like, really crazy. And then, for example, the pandemic happened and it was a great opportunity for things to be revamped. So the pandemic, created a big opportunity for us to actually do things differently and probably revamp the curriculum. But that is not happening a year and, months after the pandemic. And so I think that, that question needs to first be answered. And then when we move to how teachers are recruited, I've been part of, recruitment process in some schools during this summer break, and the existing processes they have were, to be honest, nothing to write home about, right? So the only reason why you recruit a teacher is because the teacher stays close to your school or the teacher can accept your salary. And I'm like, what about the skills that these teachers need to possess for them to power learning? So I think the entire system is designed to help teachers become mediocres. For example, teachers are not getting promoted because they have certain skills. So they just feel like, if you get trained, you just get trained for yourself. So there's really no system to ensure that teachers stay on top of learning and are able to acquire those skills themselves to be able to power learning, especially technology skills, right, to be able to power learning. And so for me, I feel like one thing that can help is, one, let us revamp the system of training teachers. Let us change how we recruit teachers by ensuring that only teachers who are qualified and highly skilled are able to teach in the classroom. At least let people that are at home be confident of those who are standing in front of the kids in the classroom. And then one other thing we can create is, let's create a system. And this is what we're working towards at Schoolinka. How can we create like a quality rating system for teachers, right? First, do we even know how many teachers in Nigeria? How many of those teachers are trained? How many of those teachers have certifications? How many of those teachers, have technology skills? We need to create these systems so that teachers themselves, we know which category they fall into. So for example, if I say a grade A teacher must possess this kind of skills, a grade B teacher possesses kind of skills. So as a teacher, when you go to that rating system and you test yourself, you see the category you fall into. So for example, if I'm grade D and the system says, oh, for you to move to grade B or grade C or grade A, this is what you need to do. Then I know my trajectory. I know what I want to do. I know what I need to do. I know the skills I need to possess. This system is currently not available in Nigeria. And so teachers are not even clear as to what they need to do. They don't know what skills they need to acquire. They don't know if they need to be technology compliant, right? So I feel like the entire system needs to really be revamped, right? Let us change how we train, let us change how we recruit, and let us change how we support teachers to actually access professional development. And when we do that, we will have them technology compliant and have all the skills they need to power learning in their classrooms.
Thank you so much for the insights, Mr. Oluwaseun. We would love to hear from you, our listeners. How can teachers be enabled to lead and innovate? Join our Telegram channel, EdTech Mondays Nigeria, or send us a message or by text or WhatsApp on 0703 165 0809. That is 0703 165 0809. And do let us know what you think. I'd like to say thank you to our erudite panelists for speaking and being here with us. We are so grateful. Thank you. We hope to have you again another time. And a sincere thanks to all our listeners. Thank you for listening and for being here. Do look out for the show again, EdTech Mondays Nigeria, on the same station next month. My name is Joyce Daniels, and I've been your host. Bye for now.